Hey guys, Rob here with McDojo Life. In today's McDojo news, we're going to talk about how a mother is suing a martial arts tournament after her college-age son is put in a vegetative state. Let's check out the story. The mother of a British Columbia international student says an unsanctioned kickboxing tournament left her son in a vegetative state last fall. Zhen-Hyun Lee had been living in British Columbia for 5 years and was pursuing a PhD in chemistry at the University of British Columbia when he enrolled in a tournament in October. Lee's mother, Ying Lee, says the event was advertised as a, quote, light and, quote, controlled competition, but that when her son left, he had an internal brain bleed. More than 4 months later, Lee remains in a vegetative state. Now, the mother is suing the people and companies involved. Lee filed a civil lawsuit in the British Columbia Supreme Court earlier this month on behalf of her son, claiming negligence on the part of the tournament's organizers, promoters, hosts, and referees, as well as one of Lee's opponents. The lawsuit says Lee fell into a coma and the doctors have told his mother he will, quote, likely never recover. The tournament took place at Simon Fraser University on October 14th, promoted as a, quote, continuous kick light event, a safer type of kickboxing. The competition was intended for amateurs and prohibited athletes with professional experience, the lawsuit claims. Despite this, the lawsuit says organizers admitted an athlete who had just returned from competing in Thailand in what the suit claims would be recognized as a, quote, professional bout in British Columbia. This athlete was placed in the novice category along with Lee. When the two sparred, the lawsuit claims the athlete delivered multiple blows to Lee outside of the tournament's rules, but that no referee stepped in. Lee lost the bout and was displaying signs of injury, but was sent on to his next opponent. This opponent also struck Lee beyond the, quote, light and controlled rules, according to the lawsuit. Still, Lee went on to compete in his third bout. Afterward, he began vomiting and falling in and out of consciousness. The lawsuit says organizers hadn't arranged for adequate medical care to be on site, and it took them over 90 minutes to get an ambulance to Lee. While he was waiting, the lawsuit says Lee was suffering an acute subdermal hematoma, a brain bleed. Every passing minute was critical in treating his condition, the lawsuit reads. The lawsuit claims the tournament didn't receive proper approval through British Columbia's regulatory process for kickboxing events. It claims negligence on the part of the event organizer and promoter, Western Canadian Martial Arts Championships, the company that sanctioned the event, World Karate and Kickboxing Union, and Simon Fraser University for hosting the competition. Lee is also suing multiple referees and the opponent who had competed in Thailand. In a statement on background, a spokesperson for Western Canadian Martial Arts Championships said, quote, our hearts go out to this young man and his family. And understandably, as this is now a judicial matter, we are unable to comment. No other defendants responded to requests for comment as of Thursday afternoon, February 29th, and none of them have filed legal responses. The allegations made in the suit have not been proven in court. In a statement translated from Chinese by the family's lawyer, Lee said her son had been looking forward to, quote, a promising life as a future scientist. My son grew up in a single-parent household, and he is my only child, Lee's statement said. All my efforts have been devoted to him, and raising him to this point has not been easy. He is a cheerful, handsome, and kind young man who loves life. He diligently studies and works, often conducting experiments until late at night. He once told me that life only affords a few chances. Just as he was about to complete his PhD, hopes were shattered. Now I have to embark on another journey, caring for him in the latter part of his life. He now spends his days laying in bed staring at the ceiling, Lee said. She flew to Canada in October and spent 4 months with her son before gathering together the funds to fly him back to China this month. In her statement, Lee said that she is a single mother and is concerned with how she will cover the cost of caring for her son for what could be the rest of his life. I worry about what will happen if I'm not around. Who will take care of him? And I am filled with daily anxiety and despair. Let's unpack that. So a college student who's working towards his PhD goes and signs up for a martial arts tournament for what he would think is continuous light contact division. He then competes in 3 different matches in that division. And to top it off, one of his opponents had just got back from Thailand competing in what would be considered a professional bout. He shows all the signs of what would be a concussion, vomiting, nausea, things like that, and then decides to continue to fight anyway. This eventually leaves him in a coma and now leaves him in a vegetative state that he will, quote, probably never recover from. This is truly heartbreaking, and you hate to see something like this happen. It's very difficult to really say any one person is at fault here, in my opinion. I think that if the son was showing all of these signs of a concussion, he probably himself shouldn't have sparred or continued to go on. I think that the referee, if the referee is not slowing down the contact and they're allowing it to kind of go full bore, then that's negligent on their part and also violates their rules that they themselves set up. If, like the lawsuit states, that the tournament promoters were being shady and allowing full contact kickboxing without athletic commission involved, then that's also shady. But at the end of the day, the lawsuit will play its course and we'll find out who is at fault here ultimately. Now, when I used to compete in light contact kickboxing events. When I did tournaments, I've done full contact kickboxing events. I mean, for him to have that type of brain injury is pretty wild. I mean, you're going to have to be hit pretty damn hard to have something like that happen to you. This brings us to the question of the day. I mean, there's a lot of people being sued here, but ultimately, who do you believe is at fault in all of this? I'd like to know your thoughts. Be sure to answer that question in the comment sections below so that way I know that you watched the entire video. I look forward to reading them. As always, thank you all for the likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, and memberships. Be sure to check out McDojoLife.com. Keep the martial arts legit.
My baby got robbed the other day by degenerate. So she wanted to learn some new form of this self-defense. So she did her research and perused it online and found this tool said he could move shit with his mind. He called himself Seafood Paul Zimmerman. He got a dojo with a strip on near Cinnabon. Now she spends all day trying to break boards with her thoughts, but the only thing she's breaking is my little heart. Things just haven't been the same. Living strange since my baby joined that dojo. Joined the McDojo. Now she tries to